Last up. Always forget something.
All right.
Volume down.
Yeah, I did that.
Okie dokie. 7.
Yep, there we are.
14.
$17.
21.
I'll stay.
Everyone, it's Friday. It's Friday. You got plans for tomorrow?
No.
I'm baking banana bread.
Oh, there you go. I'll probably get a bacon. I don't know what. Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to bake. I'll bake something.
I have a bunch of bananas to use and fresh pecans.
Oh, there you go. Oh, not 30.
Wow, that was quick.
Hi, Camille. Hi, Yvette.
Hey, Sherry. Thanks, Ellen. This has been a lot of work. Hey, Linda, Terry. Stephen Fisher, I have a great recipe for a Black Russian cake. It was very popular at former work locations. I'll take that recipe.
Hey, send it over.
Friday night fun begins now. Who needs to go on a date? It's girls' night. 52, so we could start. Yay. So Sherry, your first question, you want to know about the 1013. So the 1013, what does that mean, right? So most of us that are in emergency services, we have these 10 codes, and 10 codes mean a lot of the agencies, sometimes your 10 codes mean something different. This 1013 for the police officers means officer in need or officer down, officer needs assistance. So their retiree groups are called 1013 clubs. And so the New York 1013 wanted to support what we were doing, help us fundraise, and said, hey, come on down to Mineola and we'll rent a room for you and let's work together and do this. So in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, we thought that's what we would do. So we are truly appreciative of the New York 1013 for helping us do this. That is a great opportunity. That room holds about 305 or so people. So yes, if you're planning on coming, I know there were some people in the organization that were concerned about COVID, as COVID is on the uptick in New York. Just wear your mask. We will try to bring a few with us just in case people forget, but do be courteous to others. And so that's what I'm going to say on that. But it is a nice event. It was a very sweet gesture of the 1013 to do, and we are hoping more will do the same. Karen, it says no sound, but we definitely have sound, so make sure you turn the sound up on your device. Sorry.
Mike,
the first thing we check, is it plugged in?
Yeah, right. Is it plugged in?
Camille, so excited. You will be 10 minutes from my house. Consider yourselves invited. You better have wine. I'm here to look at the cat and dogs. Renee, they're on the floor, but I'll promise I'll pick one up before the night's over. So, okay. So did you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay, so tonight I want to talk about a few things. There's a couple of updates I have for you today. So the first update, a lot of you are on MA plans, including the Aetna plan. Several of you every week are calling me about you okay?
Yeah, the cat spitting at the dog on the floor here. Hold
Yeah,
on.
right.
Yeah, God.
So anyway, many of you are in MA plans and you may be getting phone calls from the plan trying to set up to have someone come to your house. I'm glad, Karen. And come to your house and do an assessment or talk to you. Please say no. Unless you're sick and you truly need someone to help you with something, say no. There's a reason why they're doing this. MA plans start to send agents to your home to talk to you about your past illnesses, your current illnesses, things that might have been wrong with you 5, 10 years ago, 5 weeks ago. The reason is because they're doing what they call upcoding. If you watched any of the videos that we posted, like the Energy and Commerce Committee in Congress, one of the things that MA plans do is they upcode. They want to find out what's wrong with you, what problems you may have had in the past, so that they can consider you a higher risk patient, go back to CMS and ask for more money. Even if those issues that you may have had are you're no longer being treated for, they will still consider you a higher risk because you did have them. So one of the populations that concerns me about the most is the 9/11 population. If you are a 9/11 person in the World Trade Center program, your health care does not go through your health plans most of the time. It goes through the 9/11 program, the World Trade Center Medical Monitoring and Treatment Program. If your MA program thinks that makes you a higher risk for them, guess what? They're going to upcode you with all of those other diagnoses, goes back to the federal government and says, I've got this client who's a 9/11 responder and oh, look at all these bad things. I'm going to need more money. So I just want you to be cognizant of that. In some cases, situations like this, they might be helpful to you if you're having a problem. If you're not, don't let them in and don't take their phone calls. I was saying this today to Madeline and Michelle, and Madeline was telling me they've been calling my father for months. So just understand why they're calling you. It's not because they like you and care about you and want to check in on you. It's that they're trying to find ways to make more money. So, they're like that crazy uncle that comes around every time you win the lotto or something. But end of story on that. Unless anyone has any questions, I think that's self-explanatory. We even saw some of that in the contract with the Alliance about how many times that they would try to call your house or reach out to you, right? Remember?
Yeah. And they made it sound like, oh, we're gonna call you and make sure you have everything you need and everything is okay with
after a certain dollar amount that you
right after a certain
spent on your care.
Yeah.
All this little sneaky stuff behind the scenes. So just FYI, we hear all the time that there's lots of people that love your MA plans. Just remember, you may like it, you may be healthy, you may be fine, there's no issues, you're not needing procedures, surgeries, tests, whatever, and the plan works for you because you're not really technically using it. For those people that the OIG, the Office of the Inspector General, reported about in that last hearing, that they were having delays in authorizations, their doctors weren't getting paid, they were using their out-of-network and not getting reimbursed because it was determined that their procedure wasn't, quote, medically necessary, those types of people. And the OIG in the hearing a couple weeks ago on June 28th was actually very interesting because they did mention another study I had come across, but I hadn't heard about it publicly. They mentioned it in their testimony. That was the one, I'm pretty sure I told you about this, where Medicare Advantage patients in their last year of life come out of the MA plan and opt back into traditional Medicare. And when the chair asked the OIG, why is it that that happens? They didn't really know, other than they hypothesized that because they were probably having problems getting access to care, they figured, let me just get out of this damn plan and go back to traditional Medicare, but I didn't have a problem. So the chair asked the OIG to actually look into that, and she said she would. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with, because that is something that they were asked to investigate.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
That's in the congressional hearing that I had posted with the green screen.
Right.
So that's one down. Today, Joe posted another video. He actually posted two, and I uploaded them to YouTube this afternoon for him. Just I've been busy all day, so they went up late, but they are up there, and I'll put them out in the newsletter this weekend. So we are looking for spokespersons from each different kind of union that we could make. Maybe you wear your organization t-shirt, or we could put a background of, like, I don't know, a school scene, or if you were a teacher, you know, something that lets the people know where you were from, who you are, what you did, and we want to try to appeal to them. And so that's what this latest video series is just a short little blurb to say, hey, you know, I was you before. Actually, I spoke to a firefighter the other day, and he gave me these sayings that were actually quite interesting, if I could find them really quickly. And he says, we used to have these sayings in the firehouse. I was where you are. You will be where I am. And he said when they got pissed off at a brother, they started to say BMA. And I said, what does BMA mean? And he goes, brother my ass. That sounds so sibling-like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So these guys were funny. So that's the thing on that. So please email us if you're interested in doing that. I have had neglected to put up a separate video asking for people who are under 65 on Medicare for disability. So we're looking for the younger disabled Medicare persons, retirees. Do you want to do a separate video on that? I only got a few photos on that. So I will do a separate video before I close the page tonight, asking specifically for that, putting the email there, photos at NYC retirees.org, specifically for that one. So we're going to work on two videos at the same time, and that'll give us a couple weeks to put them out, like 1 week next week and the week after. And I am a little behind doing a couple of getting the other videos up to YouTube. I will try to get them there this weekend. The third thing I want to talk about is the governor of New York State. So I will put a post up when we do this video with a link to email the governor. There is a bill. I will put the bill number and a link to it so you could read it. But the link I'm going to put up will be to email the governor, and I'm going to ask you all to write her or call her office. Preferably email is better, just that way they end up seeing it, because I don't know what happens with the phone calls, and ask her to support a specific bill. Michael Brokum, about a month ago, he had posted that NICET had posted, sent you all an email, all the UFT people sent you an email saying, hey, you should support this bill due to a recent lawsuit. It takes away, due to a decision in a recent lawsuit, it would help retirees protect their health care by using extrinsic evidence. Many of you thought it meant our case, and it didn't. It was another case called Cuomo v. Donahue. It was actually resolved the week our case went to oral arguments in February. But one of the decisions in that case was that you couldn't use extrinsic evidence. Retirees couldn't use extrinsic evidence in a contractual type of an argument. This would fix that, okay? So what is extrinsic evidence? In a contractual argument, the contract is the evidence. But retirees, we don't have contracts. We're retired. You know, we don't have collective bargaining. We don't have unions. Well, they all think they have us. So anyway, extrinsic evidence is like what Steve always used to say. It's all the other stuff that proves what you're trying to say. You remember when we asked you for the SPDs, your union newsletters, any flyers, any OLR booklets, union booklets, anything that you had? That is called extrinsic evidence. It's something on the outside that wasn't a contract or something you negotiated, but it was something that said that you were entitled to something. And it's that we're trying to protect. So it was very interesting to see that the UFT and the NICIT actually came out to say, hey, you guys should all support this thing. You're wondering why they wanted to support that. Okay, that's a good thing though. We looked at it, we brought it to the attorneys, Jake and Steve. They said this was great to support. So I'm going to ask all of you, Michelle's going to ask you, hey, let's support this law. It has passed both the Assembly and the Senate. I'm sorry, the Assembly and the Senate on June 1st. And right now it's sitting back in the Assembly because that's the bill that was sponsored first. Now it's sitting there for control. And what that means is it's waiting for the governor to call the Assembly and say, hey, give me this bill. I'll pull it up, I'll look at it, and I might sign it. So we need to kind of nudge the governor to sign this bill, okay? So I will give you all the details in the post. When I post this later, it'll probably end up being an after thing, you know, after the video goes up, I have to go in and edit it. Thank you. Need more coffee. And so I'll be asking you, I'll give you the link to the bill so you could read it. I'll also be giving you the link to the governor to say, yes, we support this. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of text, what you should say, and then just put it in your own words, make it short and sweet and say, hey, dear governor, would you please support this? Please call it up to sign it and put it into law. It would truly help us because we're in a very similar situation right now. So that would help there. And I think those were my 3 things. What do you got?
Hold on, Ellen asked, is it limited to only certain types of contracts?
I do not think so.
We'll have to find out, Ellen. Okay, so
but if Ellen was interested, Ellen could read Cuomo v. Donahue and she'd find out probably a lot faster than I could explain it here in front of everybody else. Next.
Okay, so we saw some chatter.
Okay.
On the page yesterday regarding getting some info out to the retirement communities in Florida.
Yes.
And that was also brought to my attention by one of the moderators yesterday in the afternoon, in the villages, and I believe on the east, right, the East Coast.
The Century.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
in the Century. So we are going to reach out to some people about, you know, either, you know, hooking up with probably either doing either Zooms or, you know, getting some information out there. But in the interim, because just like our Mabel with the Beard and our very own Len, who's been out there, you know, hitting the pavement, boots on the ground, there are numerous flyers. Okay, and they are downloadable. And again, if you don't know where to download them, okay, they are on the Facebook page, or you can email the org address and I will send them in PDF form and you print them and you can put them up all over your community, or you can hand them out or at your little social functions or at the pool or wherever, whatever you guys do down there at the villages, and you know, and just hand them out. And then, you know, we can, you know, you can spread the word that way.
There's they're up on the media page. So if you go up to our website, nycretirees.org, you'll see it'll say media. There's a whole bunch of them that Joe created, other people created. They're all there. Just pick the one that you want and download it.
Right. So all the information is there. If you're looking for something specific, you know, we have, you know, specific ones that we've been handing out. We also have a 1-pager for Medicare versus Medicare Advantage. I believe that's also up on the Facebook page, I believe. And I also have that in PDF form also that you could hand out if you'd like. So, and that's about it. Other than that, we don't have a winner for this week, because the way it's the 15th is today, the big spinny thing that we pull the winner out doesn't happen until the 16th of the month. So we will have a winner for next week's live. So just bear with us.
Mary, and she says, I mailed the IRMA forms and then I sent them electronically. Did I cause a problem for myself? No, they're bound to at least get there once, if not twice.
Right. Yeah, listen, they'll get there.
Thank you, Jean. Yes, Ellen says, I carry the flyers in my car. I give them out when I meet a city retiree up here in Carmel and Putnam. By the way, the cops who are not yet on Medicare but are on GHI are totally unaware. Now, Ellen, what we're finding is it's not just the cops, it's everybody. And so here's the other kind of, sleazy thing the city did. The city and the MLC put out that RFI it was described to be for actives and non-Medicare eligible retirees. The problem with that is if they kill Emblem, they kill senior care. And so we were saying this to a couple of the MLC people, and they were like, yeah, you're right. Really? Like we were a bunch of idiots. So, so that's what's to keep in mind, that the good thing about putting out an RFI is that it adds some challenge to the mix, right? So there's a potential competition. That's one of the things that's been lacking in this process, is they haven't been currently bidding or repeat bidding their processes. And Emblem kind of been skating on the city business for a very long time, taking advantage of what's been going on. And partly, honestly, the city being negligent and not minding the purse. So unfortunately, because of the way that was all happening, there's been no one to challenge Emblem's rates to say, well, maybe I could do that better. So they put this RFI out. Is part of the goal, I think, to kind of make Emblem do the right thing and say, well, all these other organizations could do this cheaper. You either do it cheaper or you're going to go. That just may happen. I don't really know. But we are making sure that the unions know that it is important for us to have choice and to have at least one Medicare Medigap plan. So that is the education that's happening, just so you do know, as well as because the unions are blaming us for them having a deficit, right? Because that 2014 and 2018 agreement that the MLC made with the city of New York, and partly because the first agreement, the 2014 agreement, was funded the UFT raises, the 18% $1 billion rate in budget shortfall. Because of that, the unions had to come up with these savings. When the 2021-22 savings did not materialize, they are a recurring savings. So one of the unions said to me, you owe us $1 billion, Mariana. I was like, yeah, okay. You owe me a year and a half of my life back, dude. So he didn't think it was funny. I said, well, you can talk to the rest of my team. I'm sure they would like a year and a half of their life back too. Wouldn't you like that back, Michelle? I think that has a value. I think we're about
it has a value. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of, why they're a little cranky, is that the city is saying that they still have to do this. My opinion is they don't owe the city any money. The judge kind of made this agreement illegal. What they did, this provision of the agreement, not the entire agreement, but this part of the agreement that they made was illegal. And in their contracts, I've been trying to say to them, well, their collective bargaining agreements have a safety clause. It basically says if any part of this agreement is considered illegal, it doesn't invalidate the rest of the agreement. Well, I think the rest of the agreement was fine to stay in place, but because the last 2 years of the 2018 agreements couldn't come to fruition, that should be voided and they should go back to the drawing board. Really sorry that they didn't get to what they wanted to, but they should have been given kudos for what they did. However, they both had their hands in the till, and we are here because of what they did, not because of anything that we did, right?
Oh, exactly.
Janet Coburn, if Emblem is not renewed, would any other senior care Medigap plan, wouldn't any other senior care Medigap plan to replace it cost it? No. What we have found, thanks to our legal team, is that there are several other organizations that can offer a Medigap plan cheaper than senior care. The same plan, no copays. So we're going to do a little education next week to some of these groups and see what happens. Ellen, can you do a video about how each MLC union gets money from the city for its welfare fund? And this is now a problem because of raiding the stabilization fund in 2014. The Medicare cops seem to believe that GHI comes from their union and that the city doesn't contribute to their welfare fund. Oy vey. Yeah, oy vey is right. I'll add that to the list.
Well, right, I know a majority of that we've covered before.
In something else we have, but I will tell you also, Ellen, since we're having this conversation, I did ask the comptroller's office for an accounting of the stabilization fund via FOIL, and I was denied. Work in progress, don't worry. Francis, you're welcome. Mary Krufke Meyer, exactly. They are stealing your retirement by working to keep our benefits. Thank you for your efforts. I don't know. You know, they always said there were pickpockets in New York. I just never thought it'd be my union. Len Vasile, I have found adding the city's RFI article to the 1/3 page flyer has been the best way to get active's attention. They really react to that mix with handing out the flyers. Len, that's a fantastic idea. We love you for that. Great idea.
All right, we'll have to have, we'll add that, make up another flyer.
We'll have to send you paper. So the RFI closed this week. It closed yesterday, actually.
So Scott said, what reason was the FOIL request turned down?
Oh, they said that they don't keep track of that. And actually, but hold on a second. I actually believe them. Remember something in the IBO report and the testimony from October before the council. The IBO testified that one of the problems is that this savings, this alleged savings of $600 million wasn't going to be a real savings because the city was giving it back to the unions and sticking it in the stabilization fund, a fund with little to no oversight and was managed by OLR and the unions.
Right.
So I can't really go into all the other details about what's happening behind the scenes because it's still a work in progress, but I'm going to say in 30, 60 days, you may be hearing back from us with more information.
Who knows?
Maybe your 8 ball will tell me something later, but
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. They ain't telling me nothing.
What does that mean? I'm not going to get an answer? What the hell?
Well, it says yes.
Lucky us.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So we're at 9:02. Does anyone have any questions before we go? Remember too, the page closes down during the summer for 3 days.
Yes, remember, so don't think we ran away Monday. It's just the page is closed.
Yep. And Elterman, thank you, ladies. Far better than a date, at least in Manhattan. Need a rich sugar daddy, but haven't found one yet. Ain't we all, sister? Well, take a younger man, enjoy your. No, I don't want a younger man. They just got too much energy. Can we send you airline miles? You're so funny. I belong to DC 37 Union once a month. They have Zoom meetings. I have never heard them mention about our problems. Why? Well, Sherry, I just want you to know, I am working with Bob Gervasi, who is the new president of DC 37 Retirees, and he is engaged in this process. We have had some meetings, myself, Bob, Neil, Dominic. If Dominic is on here tonight, I don't see him, but if he's here, I'm sure he'll give us a shout out. They are working on it. Bob is just in office a couple weeks, and I will tell you, when Michelle and I went to Foley Square in June, Bob was there with Richie Alves, a bunch of the ladies. We were all there screaming. We gave the DC 37 retirees, Bob Gervasi, the bullhorn, and we were getting him to scream in the bullhorn. I mean, he's catching up, but he's just there like what, a month. So just give him a little bit of time, okay? He's going to catch up. But he is passionate about this. He's been working with us, so give him some kudos right there. You too, Anthony. You have a great weekend. Sue Dodell. Sue, I've got several emails to answer back to you. I've just been like, running around like a chicken. What about the 125 charge for Part D drug coverage? Is there anything being done? Be more specific about that. What do you mean? They reduced it to 125 from 150. Are you asking me, would there be other choices than the city's Part D plan? Because in my opinion, I don't know if that's your opinion, but my opinion, the 125 charge for that Part D plan is highway robbery. If that's what you're saying, I am working on something else with that as well, with somebody else. There's another organization. It is not yet come public, and when that does, I'm sure you will know about it. Marion Collins, both of you will both, yes, Michelle and I will both, you're coming, Mineola. We're both going to be in Mineola. Yeah, with bells on. You'll see us there. Don Ho, what do you call a hippie's wife? I don't know. Don, what do you call him? I'm almost afraid to ask this question. Never mind.
I know, right?
I love Don. He's got such a great sense of humor, right? Cheryl Samuels, thank you for all your ongoing efforts. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. You too, my dear.
Okay, Harriet Johnson Norton, I have Empire Medicare related coverage. It sounds like that could be discontinued. Where are you hearing it sounds like it could be discontinued? Right, are you talking about what the city's been saying, like what they're opting to do with this nuclear option? Is that what you're talking about, or have you heard something different? Because this is the stuff that we need to know. If you guys are hearing chatter, then email me, because this is how I get the info. And then, I look into it, or, and I ask around, and then we either debunk it or,
Mrs. Hippie. Like a frog in the microwave joke, Don. Laurel, very good. I'm glad that you've got people. Beautiful. Now there's still that request for, was it August for Serena Mia? If I have people in Queens that will do the same event that night out we posted it last week. So if you could do that, please reach out to Serena Mia. She is looking for volunteers. Like it? Yeah, Don Ho, very cute. Camille D, will 1013 event get press, or will any local polls come? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure on that one. I'm leaving that up yet to decide on that. We got a little time to decide if I want it that way. I'm not really sure local polls will help us. It's being held in Nassau County. It's I'm going to say maybe 50-50 on part of that, not part of that. Where in Queens? George. Good question.
Was that event this week, or is that coming up?
I thought she had posted it for August. Let's see.
Well, maybe.
No, it's Robert Holden, 30th District in Queens, Glendale Middle Village. She's looking for volunteers. Oh, that already passed. It was Thursday the 14th.
Oh, see, I thought it passed. Yeah.
Yep. So Laurel was the only event that was in Manhattan. If I'll tell you, Gerard, if I see another one, I'll let you know. But I'm sorry that that I didn't pay more attention to that. I put it out twice, and I had hoped that she had had other people to volunteer, but clearly I guess no one did, and the date was yesterday. I'm good. I'm not seeing, we'll look into getting some polls there for 1013. Hey, I love you, Dan. And hey, everyone, say thank you to Dan. Dan is from the New York 1013. Thank you, Dan. We love you. Thank you for sponsoring us for Nassau County. Can queens identify as kings? Well, I'll tell you, I have identified as a king when the ladies' room was full. Not sure where that's going. See, Dan, everyone's sharing the love, honey.
Alrighty.
So I don't have anything else. I'm not seeing anything else, Cub. Keep sharing the love to Dan. Make sure everyone knows, make sure Dan knows you all love him, because we love him for hosting us. And Dan will tell Matt, the president of the 1013, that we're sharing love. So that will hopefully get us invited back again. So on that note, everybody, you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Again, thanks everybody for the donations. Thanks the moderators. Thank you, Joe, for keeping everything up to date.
And those awesome videos.
Yes, all the awesome videos. And again, we love you guys. And we love everybody.
And that's it. You guys enjoy. We will see you guys next week, Tuesday. If anything comes up,
Yes.
We will pop the page open like we always say. I will add the information to email the governor with the bill number so that you know what to do. So you can always do that this weekend if you're bored to tears and have nothing to do, but you want to do some work like we do. And that's really it.
All right.
Good.
That's it. You guys have a good night. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Ciao, guys. Love you. Mwah. Bye, girl.
Bye.